and take his son to my apartment real quick so he could change his diaper and feed him his food.
I'm sorry. I'm in ninja hell. Oh no. So we already got horror stories while being quarantined. I'm taking it. These are going to be scary quarantine stories, as in like from previous quarantines or something that happened. I don't know, because what seriously could have happened like really bad? Well, I guess we're about to find out now. In this short of like freaking time. And I mean, the most I can think of scary that can happen is someone caught it in your home. I don't know. I don't know. Let's just watch, instead of trying to put it together, let's just watch. You're about to watch 3 scary stories that happened while quarantining. Well, actually, it doesn't have to involve the quarantine. Like, I mean, the disease itself. So maybe just like while I'm quarantined, this happened. But yo, anyway, shout out to my guy, Mr.Nightmare, because I'm telling you, dude has the best scary stories on YouTube. I love watching Mr.Nightmare for the channel. But if you want to check out the original video, link in the description below. But let's go. Quarantine story. Anonymous Alex Stevens, Jared Gianni.
With all this quarantining madness going on because of COVID-19, my family and I have fled New York State to our Massachusetts lake house to avoid contact with other people. The lake, which I will not name for safety reasons, has a bunch of houses surrounding it, and in the summer months, it's full of boats and people barbecuing and drinking. But right now, in late March when I'm writing this, it's kind of a ghost town here, and it's weird seeing it like this here. Anyway, I wouldn't be here writing this if something didn't go wrong, right?
Exactly.
My younger brothers, who I'll call Steve and Glenn, were out on the deck overlooking the lake with me. We were setting up the table for a game of beer pong, which we invited our dad to play with us so the teams would be even. The sky had reached that point after sunset where most of the sky was dark, but there was still that hint of orange on the horizon. The lake was calm and quiet, not a single boat, and all the neighboring houses seemed to be vacant. We're truly the only ones around still. Our deck has a fire pit, so we lit that for extra light as well as heat because it was chilly. The 4 of us were playing a game of beer pong, when in the middle of it, Glenn grabbed his phone and lowered the music to his portable speaker. He and Steve turned around to look over the deck to the grass below. My dad and I went over to see what they were looking at.
A body.
Glenn said he heard something below us, and he could see someone walk under the deck. The deck doesn't have a stairway leading down. You have to go inside and downstairs.
Somebody under that mug.
So my dad and I went downstairs and out the back door under the deck.
For what?
Nobody there. My dad called out a bunch of times to confirm this, and we went back upstairs. The thing is, Steve swore by it as well that he also heard someone speaking from under the deck. Regardless, we cut the game of beer pong short and went inside, making sure to lock the door. My mom and dad were up in their loft bedroom, while I was in the living room playing PlayStation. That's when it started. Loud, aggressive bangs on the sliding door. Accompanied with the bangs was a man's screams. Sounded like he was screaming for help. The curtain to the door was shut. I couldn't see who it was, but apparently everyone in the house heard it, because my brothers and parents came rushing to the living room. My dad yanked the curtain open to find himself face to face with some red-in-the-face man banging his fist on the glass, begging to be let in.
Hell no!
He was claiming he was hurt and needed help. My dad asked, "Where are you hurt?"
I called 911 from right here.
He didn't answer that, though. He just kept repeating, "Let me in, I'm hurt." My dad then yelled to get out of here before—
If you gonna be hurt if you come in or stay out there. The hurt ain't gonna go away. I'm gonna call the cops if you need help. If you break this window, come here, my whole family stabbing you. Point blank, period. That's it,
He called the cops. He yanked the blinds shut and told us all to shut and lock our windows if they were open. We all stayed in the living room together for a couple hours, just to be safe. We had a movie on in the background as we talked.
Turn it off, we gotta hear.
Eventually, with no other uninvited visitors outside, we all split off into our respective rooms for the night. I was browsing.
How do you do that? How? I seriously don't. I do not get that. If I'm right here, boom. My girl right here, boom. My kids right here, boom. We chilling. Bam, bam, bam. Somebody beating on the door like this bloody red face. Let me in. I'm hurt. Let me in. Let me in. We not sleeping alone that night. No, we all sleeping in this room. The dresser's on the door. That way, your only way in is this window. And we all got a knife. We all gonna be too scared to just fall asleep and just be knocked out. Anyway, soon some break, you getting stabbed. Like, I don't get. I don't get some of these people sometimes.
We all split off into our respective rooms for the night. I was browsing YouTube videos in my bed when it happened.
Hope you were watching How to Kill Someone.
Shattering glass so loud it made me jump out of my bed. My heart instantly started racing. I didn't know if I was the only one who heard it because I didn't hear my parents or brothers running out of their rooms.
Because to be smart, you should.
I picked up the phone and called my dad's cell. He picked up and whispered he heard it too, and to stay in my room and lock the door. I reminded him my door didn't have a lock. Of course, my room, while the biggest of my brothers, was the one room that didn't have a lock.
You gotta be quick, bro! But you can't be loud, you gotta hurt slide something from the door. Yeah!
He told me to hide in the closet and call my brothers while he called the cops.
Stay on the phone, right? Stay on the phone with them. You go in the closet, but you keep your closet peeked up or whatever. Because if he come in there, obviously he in there with me. I'm stuck. Y'all gotta hit him from the back. Y'all got to. So if he in there in a couple o'clock, I'm gonna get called. I'm like, if I say that mean everybody rush in this month. We gotta jump him. Cause ain't no point in risking somebody in the family dying. Everybody, let's jump this clown.
I heard footsteps outside my room in the living room area. I tiptoed to my closet and did my best to quietly open and close the door, but the damn hinges just had to squeak. I sat behind a big plastic bag and texted my brothers, who also heard the noise and each locked their doors.
No, I need help.
It was the most tense moment of my life in that closet. The bedroom door opened, and I could see through the strips in the closet door someone walk to my bed and sit at the edge of it.
Oh, he crazy.
He then took off one of his shoes and started shaking it, as if to get something out of his shoe. He put his shoe back on, and his head actually turned to look at the closet door. I felt as though he was looking at me. There was just this silence for the longest time, until he finally spoke, saying, "I know you're in there. I'm sure your family already called the cops. I'm not sure what my next course of action should be." At that moment, I had to decide whether to stay in there or make a break for the door, and I chose the second option. I burst through the closet door screaming as some kind of adrenaline boost. I made it to the door, expecting him to lunge for me and grab me, but he didn't. I ran up to my parents' loft and banged on the door.
Open it!
Dad opened it and let me in. I waited
in my parents'
loft and banged on the door. My dad opened it and let me in.
I just said they didn't let me in.
I waited with them until the cops entered through the freshly broken back door. Then we left the room to meet them.
He gone.
The man who was sitting on my bed was no longer in the house.
Duh!
We checked every closet, under every bed, every little crevice of the house. The cops recommended we tape a bunch of garbage bags over the door and shut the curtain, and also that we stay awake for the night.
How about we just leave?
My dad stayed in the living room the whole night, and first thing in the morning, he ran to Home Depot to buy a glass pane to fix the door.
He went to buy paint? He didn't want to go to the gun shop? He went to go buy paint? Okay.
Still actively quarantining in this house a week later. I'll send updates if the man returns.
Clown.
I've been staying in my apartment in Jersey City during this coronavirus epidemic. My roommate has since gone home to Ohio to stay with her family during all of this, so I've been in the apartment alone. I've been mostly just watching new movies and shows. I try not to go out too much because my city is pretty bad right now.
I'm watching the hell out of Ozark right now.
A couple days ago, I was running extremely low on food, so I had to make a mandatory grocery run. I went to the nearby Trader Joe's wearing a mask and gloves, which, including the insane line and limited stock, turned out to be a production. On my walk home in the dark, I realized the streets were even quieter than they were the last time I went shopping, just a week before.
Because everybody in the house.
Suddenly, out from an alleyway, some guy wearing a mask and gloves approached me.
Man,
he had a baby wrapped in a hoodie and small blanket in his hands.
It ain't no baby. That's a gun.
He seemed very sincere and asking me to let him take his son to my apartment real quick so he could change his diaper and feed him his food.
I'm sorry. I'm in ninja hell. Oh no. You can change that baby right. Look right over there. See that shop? Go in there. They got bathrooms, clown. You about to change the baby in my house.
He was clean, and that he really needed this favor for just 5 minutes.
Clown.
That it was an emergency. Hearing the baby's little cries, and the fact that this man even had a child with him and just seemed sincere, the soft part of me agreed.
And even if I had my baby with me, what would make me, what What would make me want to trust changing my baby in your house? I don't know you. You are a pure clown. You look looking all around. You. Why would I trust to change my baby at your house anyway when you are a clown?
To my apartment building. It was only a short walk from there. We walked up the 3 stories to my apartment, and I let him inside, asking him to close the door behind him.
You crazy? Ain't even no baby in there.
I cleared a spot on the living room table
shotgun
for him to change his child's diaper and whatever. When I turned around, the man was like pacing around, or more like snooping around, I guess. He went into my kitchen to do God knows what.
Make it sound.
I called over to him that I set up the table for him to use.
Like, bro, you.
He didn't answer.
Come over here.
I started getting confused.
Cause you stupid.
I walked to the kitchen and saw him looking around suspiciously.
For knives.
And what else I saw confused me. The man was standing with what I thought was his child, held in only one hand.
I told you.
It took me a second to understand. It wasn't a child.
I told you.
It was just some baby doll wrapped up in a blanket.
Stupid.
I'm assuming one of those realistic ones that make the crying and moaning noises.
They make a realistic, but no, I can tell a fake doll cry from a real baby cry. I heard them little dolls. Like, it do sound realistic, but it's not like, oh yeah, I thought you had a real baby like cry. Clown.
The man looked at me and pulled out a gun from his right pocket.
So you take
That's where things went from 1 to 100 real quick.
Right.
He looked at me with a gun aimed at me and said something along the lines of, "I'm gonna take what I want and you're gonna stay in my sight."
All right. Don't kill me.
Of course, I had to say okay with a gun aimed at my head.
Yeah, your life is not worth any
I wondered if it could be a BB gun with a tip painted
Don't
black.
even worry about it.
But even if it was, I doubted I could overpower him. I couldn't risk it.
Yep, don't risk it.
The man pulled out a big black bag from his backpack and filled it with valuables, including my wallet, some of my roommate's jewelry, kitchen valuables, my brother's Xbox, which he lent me, and my iPad. It was sickening to watch, but I was the most scared of him pulling the trigger of that gun. He filled his bag and threw the fake baby in it as well. Then he left.
So he can do it again?
I called the cops.
I don't even feel bad for this guy. I'm sorry, I really don't. Because for one, you never saw a baby. And for two, why would... There's 2 reasons why he shouldn't even be in your house. For one, we all know just quarantine. Stay away from everybody. Don't be shaking hands. Don't be close to people you don't know. Because I don't know how you're cleaning yourself. You don't know how I'm cleaning myself. For 2, I don't know you anyway. Why do you want to change it? It's not like the baby was hurt. The baby needs to be changed. You got time to get home. Sure, the baby might be uncomfortable, but it ain't gonna kill the baby. All right, no, go home or go to a shop and then go to the grocery store I just left and just use the restroom. Like, this dude is a clown, so I don't feel bad for this guy. I'm sorry.
First thing, they came and helped me in contacting the building owner to see the CCTV footage from the halls. Of course, upon seeing the footage, it didn't help much. The man's face was covered by a mask, making it near impossible to even discover who he was. All I can do is urge everyone to be careful, not to trust
and not
anyone,
to be stupid,
and stay indoors until all of this is over.
Look, I'm sorry, but you're not gonna get me like that. And you know, it's always weird to me when people be like in Arizona, this used to happen a lot. I don't know what it is about Arizona, but people just always, I never know, never see my life. I'd be pumping against like, yo, can you give me a ride? Do I look like a clown to you? Hell no. So I always know, I'll be like, oh man, I'm already a little late for work already. I'm in a rush. Where you going? Where they be like, oh, I'm going like XYZ. I'm like, dang, see, I gotta go that way. Basically, I'm actually first, so I say I'm going the opposite direction. I'll wait for the one to be like, oh no, I mean, I'm going that way too. Wait, well, it don't matter because you ain't getting in this car, clown. But I hate, like, I don't get that. It's like, you may really need this ride. It may really need help, but I am sorry. I can't take that risk. I can't do it because I'm telling you now, even if I do, it's like, all right, I'm gonna trust you, and I'm in the car. I'm telling you now, soon as you touch me, I'm skirting the car off the road and we all waking up dead. I'm telling you now, do not do nothing stupid. But regardless, you're not getting in. I'm sorry. Sorry, it's a GG. Call Uber, call a Lyft, catch the bus, but you can't get in here, my guy. Can't. No. It's just not happening.
The past month, I've been quarantining in my apartment alone with minimal outside contact because of the virus.
I think we're all doing that.
My apartment is the downstairs floor of a 2-family house. The upstairs occupant isn't the landlord, he's just another tenant. I'm actually decently acquainted with the guy. His name's Rico. To be honest, he's a bit odd though. Of course, I hadn't seen Rico because I've been quarantining.
Not Rico.
I do still have to wake up early in the morning though for work, which I report to on my laptop now. A week ago, Rico started making a lot of noise one night. Late night, actually. I was in bed. It was like past 12.
What kind of noise is that?
I had to be up early. And all of a sudden, I just start hearing constant thumping noises coming from the upstairs level of the house.
Like a machete chopping somebody.
Sounded like Rico was stomping around in boots or something. I waited for it to hopefully end eventually, but it just kept going on and on and on. Over 20 minutes of the stomping. I was so frustrated that I got up to knock on his door outside. I knocked a few times loud enough for him to hear. He never answered.
What if it ain't even him?
I gave up and went back to my room though. Thankfully the noise had stopped. I wasn't sure if he heard my knocks and stopped because of that or what, but I didn't care much. I fell into a deep sleep for some time, till I awoke in my dark bedroom.
And somebody in there.
The clock read 2:30 something. I didn't know what exactly woke me up at first.
Him.
Then I realized it must have been the fact that the room was cold.
Where's the window?
And I realized my window on the opposite side of the room was open about a foot. I knew for a fact I did not do that. I got up and quietly shut it, looking around my room paranoid. I checked under my bed and in the closet. No one there. It's not like anyone could fit through that opening in the window.
That looked pretty big to me.
Someone actually went out of their way to open that, and that terrified me. I did a scope of the place with all the lights on, and I could confirm there was nobody hiding inside. So I went back to bed with one eye open.
That you're gonna be up all night when you're that scared and you don't know what's going on around you. You're not gonna sleep anyway. You'll be up the whole time. It's like, oh my freaking god, like dumb scared. Like bro, you gonna be hella scared. Ain't no sleeping.
Scope of the place with all the lights on, and I could confirm there was nobody hiding inside.
You think?
So I went back to bed with one eye open. Then the noises upstairs started again, thumping and stomping. I couldn't take this anymore. It almost sounded like he was hitting the floor with a hammer or something. I went up to his door again and pounded on it, yelling his name as well. Once again, no answer.
Somebody killing Rico.
I went back inside and grabbed my phone and dug deep for Rico's number. I didn't have it saved. It was buried in my text conversations somewhere. When I found it, I called him.
Somebody going.
He didn't pick up the first time or the second.
Somebody else.
And the third time, he picked up sounding confused and like he had just been woken up.
Cause he's not there.
I said in a rather annoyed tone that he needed to stop making the constant noises.
He's not there.
He asked what I'm talking about.
I told you.
I explained the thumping noises. Then he dropped the bomb and told me, Jared, I'm not in my apartment.
I told you! Shit, fuck. We get the police here. Somebody come up the freaking like I'm dead. Oh shit. That legit just sent them chills on me, bro. Imagine seeing your window open, hearing this stuff, and the killer know you there cause you knocking on the door. You all waking up dead.
I went home to stay with my family a week ago. Called the cops. It suddenly made a lot more sense. And I realized the noises had stopped.
You gotta play it off. You gotta play it off, cause he can't know that. You gotta start knocking like Rico, bro, chill out, man. You gotta start playing off like you don't know that the killer know that you know he not there. And what you gotta hella be calling the cops, bro. Have to be calling the cops while you doing that.
Since I went back to the door, I hung up before saying another word and dialed 911.
My bad. I'm too worked up. I'm sorry.
I went back to the door. I hung up before saying another word and
dialed Rico, chill!
Not wasting a second.
Play it off.
As I was on the phone talking to the police operator, I heard it clicking at my bedroom window. Someone was outside trying to lift open the window, which I had just locked earlier.
Let him, so they open it.
I screamed as I realized it, and then yelled at the operator to hurry with the police. She said they were on their way.
Somebody
asked me to describe the man, but I couldn't. It was too dark. He seemed to hear my conversation, I would guess, and walked away from the window. 4 police officers showed up. I led them to the
get in here!
Upstairs apartment where the door was unlocked. I walked in behind the officers, and not much searching needed to be done. There was a man with long graying hair down to his shoulders, who was sitting on the couch, looking up at the ceiling, seemingly laughing. When the officers approached him to arrest him,
what was he doing?
The man focused in on me, still laughing.
Oh, hell no.
He started to point at me, and that's when I had to leave because I was too freaked out.
he did something.
I waited until the man was in one of the police cars before talking to the officers again. I locked Rico's door, and the cops just told me to keep a good eye on the place for the time being. Rico came back the following day to assess what was stolen. He has been staying upstairs since.
He crazy. I don't doubt. He is hella. I'm sorry. If I'm in a spot you broke into it, especially if it's like a store like this where it's just like eerie and weird, we don't know what's going on and why he pointed at me, why he laughing, he didn't even take anything. What was he doing? I can't stay anymore. I'm sorry. It's a GG. I got to go. Oh, it's the end anyway. I did want them to elaborate a little more on that last story though. Like, I want to know what was he actually doing upstairs? If you're saying something, was he just stopping just to mess with him? Did he set something up? Is it somebody else? Because he said the window was open, but no one could fit in it, whatever. So I don't know if maybe how was this guy getting in and out that room upstairs, whatever. I feel like it's either someone else there or he set something up. I don't know. I just wish they had touched a little more on like what this guy was on in the last story. But yo, either way it go, Mr.Nightmare, these stories are always hell yeah. The Ding Dong Ditch one. At the time you guys watching this one, I don't think I uploaded that one yet, whatever. But that one is so good because it legit gave us a video of what was happening. Like legit scared the snot out of me. But yo, if y'all enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, comment, share, guys. You guys are awesome. Don't forget to stay safe, stay clean. Until next time, buddies. Charlie's out.